Holy smokes, guys, we did it. Last episode was amazing. We hit 1,000 views. Thank you so much for all the support. Blew my prior record out of the water. Over 4 times as many views as my prior most viewed video as of this point in time. And yeah, we'll see if we can keep that momentum going as we get into this episode here. As you can see from the background of my intro, I built the Happy Ghast, a little happy house here. So now it has a nice home to reside safely, no longer wandering around the dangerous world. I spent quite a bit of time off camera trying to decide what block I wanted to build this Happy Ghast house out of. I played around with snow, I played around with quartz, and I ended up just settling with the stripped pale oak logs and pale oak fences. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's a lot different than any of the other builds currently around my base here, so it kind of sticks out, but I think it'll look more in place once I get quite a few more builds built and this town starts to look a little bit more diverse. Got another golem spawning in the iron farm, but yeah, I spent so much time building this Happy Ghast house, taking it down, rebuilding it, switching out the blocks, trying to get it to look the way I wanted it to look, that the iron farm produced, let's see, almost a stack and a half of iron blocks just from the time I spent building this Happy Ghast house. Patrick Mahomes has really been putting in some work there, scaring these villagers and making them spawn me iron golems. Now building this Happy Ghast house gets me a little jump start on my plan for this episode, which is finally starting to do some more builds around the base here. I realized that over the last 5 or so episodes, I put in lots of work on the Statue of Wizardry, put in lots of work in the village, getting the beacon, having basically unlimited emeralds now, but the look of this base hasn't changed a whole lot recently. You know, this base has mainly just been my warehouse, the 3% complete town hall build. Now we have the iron farm, now we have the Happy Ghast house. There are a couple other builds that are started, like the sugarcane farm over there, and this nether tunnel here, but I realized that the overall appearance of the base hasn't changed a whole lot in 7 or 8 episodes. If I were to fly away and then return from my journey, if I go to the village and come back, the sites that I see are still the same major sites that I've been seeing for quite some time now. And I want to add some pizzazz to the base here so that this view as I'm returning home has a little bit more to show for it. So yeah, the Happy Ghast house is part 1 of the additional builds, but we've also made lots of progress on the tasks in the town hall here. So I think it's time that I start making some more progress on the town hall, because the town hall is supposed to progress with my task completion. I can already go to the Happy Ghast house here. Ghast house, let me rename that. Happy Ghast house, because that's what it's called now. And actually, I realized I've been talking about the Happy Ghast house. I probably said the words Happy Ghast house so many times in the last couple of minutes, but I haven't actually showed you how it works. So yeah, it's a square, or a cube I guess, because it is 3-dimensional. But around the back I have some stairs going up so that I can get in, and the Happy Ghast cannot fly out of any of these holes on his own right now. But if I get on him, we can exit this way by going up. If I open this fence gate, there we go. There we go. So the Happy Ghast has the option to exit through the roof or around the back here. So there's another fence gate on the back side of the house, so that if I'm approaching from this direction, I can just go in like this. And then now that that's open, I'll go back into third-person mode to make it easier to square this up. I will suffocate for a tiny bit as I fly through there. So then while I'm on the Happy Ghast, let me close that and close this. And yeah, so that's the Happy Ghast house. He doesn't have a ton of wiggle room in the Happy Ghast house, but he's still happy. Look at that big smile. But after the Happy Ghast house, the next thing I want to work on is this town hall. I haven't worked on this in quite a few episodes now, and it's been kind of looking like this weird, very partially completed structure for a long time, which is kind of iconic, but also not the way I want it to look forever. I'm going to work a little bit more on the frame of the walls and the roof, but the main thing that's probably going to take me the most time and thought and effort is going to be the floor. I have no idea what blocks I want to use for the floor right now. Well, I shouldn't say I have no idea, because I have debated quite a bit, and I have some ideas, but I don't know how they're going to look until I actually build them. So there's a chance it'll be easy and I'll like my first thought, but I feel like I'm not going to like my first thought, and there's going to be lots of trial and error. But before I can even test out those ideas, I have to go collect the blocks that I want to try out for the floor here. So I'm going to have to head into the Nether to get lots of quartz and basalt. I'm actually already kind of loaded on quartz. I have over 7 stacks. Oops. So I'll grab those all right now and sleep this night away again. But basalt, I do not have enough of. I have, let's see, a little over 2 stacks of basalt. So I'm going to head to the Nether and do some quartz and basalt mining. Mainly basalt, but if I see some quartz, I may as well mine it. I know there's some quartz in the ceiling right here. I'm gonna let that be for now, because I don't want to really ruin the whole natural nether feeling terrain right around the portal. But I'll happily wreck all kinds of terrain farther away from the portal. Oh, a fortress. And basalt. This is a great find. This is actually pretty close to my portal, a lot closer than that other portal was. This also might be in a better biome, because there aren't a ton of other like spawnable blocks around the fortress, which could decrease the rate of wither skeleton spawning when other mobs are spawned around the fortress. Oh my gosh. Ooh yeah, look at all those wither skeletons. Got 4 already. Oh my gosh. I did get 1. That's cool. Okay, no skull from that. Oh my gosh, more wither skeletons already. This is so much better than that other fortress was with these wither skeleton spawn rates. Oh my gosh. 2 more skulls? How many wither skeletons have I sampled? 7? My objective is not get wither skulls this episode, but now I feel like I have to finish out this trio here. Alright, let me strategically mine some basalt, which I am in the Nether to do, while also making it much easier to take out these 4 wither skeletons safely. Alright, the extremely good luck is appearing less and less extreme each time I sample an additional wither skeleton. Oh, there it is. There's the 3rd and final skull. So, I don't actually know exactly how many I ended up sampling to get that 3rd skull. But that's cool, it was a nice little productive side quest. Now I'll get back to my main objective of being in the Nether right now, which is getting some basalt. Alrighty, so I mined just about a full inventory, minus whatever else was already in my inventory of the basalt blocks, and that is more than enough for what I'm going to need today in today's builds. But while I was here, I figured I may as well stock up for future projects. But now I'm actually going to head back to the smeltery. Now I'm going to head back to the smeltery because in order to convert these blocks into the blocks that ChatGPT said goes the best with tough bricks, I will need to smelt them into their smooth form. And here we are back at the smeltery already. Quartz smelts right into smooth quartz, and basalt smelts right into smooth basalt. So now I'll just wait a few minutes for these to finish smelting.
A few minutes later.
Alrighty, I am back. Looks like everything is done cooking. Very nice. And now I think my time in the Nether has been concluded for this episode. Would you believe it? I'll at least clean out my inventory and get some supplies ready to go for the rest of this episode until either it's nighttime and I can sleep this rain away, or the rain stops. Wow, I cleaned out my inventory for like 45 seconds, and I was on my way down to the town hall to put that red concrete back, and the rain stopped before nighttime. So, whoa. So I'm gonna sleep the night away anyway, but good to know that the precipitation was very short-lived. And these 3 more wither skulls, I'll put them in the valuables chest for now until maybe later this episode even. Alright, let's see how this works. Guess I need the shovel, because I'm finally doing it. I'm finally clearing out this layer of dirt that I've been too lazy to replace for I don't know how many episodes now, 10? But for everyone that was bothered by that, I apologize for how long it's been, and you're welcome for finally doing it. Also, my snowman disappeared. I don't know if snowmen can just despawn, or if he got killed by a skeleton or something, but he is no longer there. No worries, it won't be too hard to create another one because 2 snow blocks and a pumpkin is basically free. But if they do despawn, I will make sure I give the next one I make a name when I put it in its snowman house. This is a big oak tree. Alright, well that's going to wrap up my work on the outside of the town hall here. Everything to do with the tough bricks because, well, I am out of tough bricks. So until I go on my adventure to acquire more tough, I mean I still have some tough, but I'm basically out of tough. I'm going to need stacks on stacks of tough to complete the outside of this town hall with tough bricks. There's a much better view of, you know, the shape of what the town hall will end up looking like. However, I feel like these beams of tough bricks going across the roof are kind of distracting, so I will probably try to finish that sooner rather than later. But for the rest of the work on the town hall today, it will be focused on the floor. So the first thing I need to do is rip up all of this dirt. Okay, so I've spent way too much time debating which of these color palettes I like the most. I've tried the smooth quartz, I got the regular quartz, I got pale oak logs. Well, that axe is fast. I got stripped pale oak logs. Here's the smooth basalt. I got some deep slate, some tiled deep slate. And I've just decided that I've done too much thinking and not enough doing, so I'm gonna choose one, and then if I ever decide I don't like the color palette, I'll just have to swap out my light shaded blocks for whatever new light shade block I decide, or same thing with the dark shaded blocks. But most of this dirt under the first layer of dirt in the town hall has already almost turned all the way back into grass blocks, so I think it's time I finally start putting this floor together and then reevaluating my life decisions once the design is complete. Alright, so my idea was kind of evolving as I built it. As I started working on it, I decided what I liked, what I didn't like. So, on the right side of the town hall right now, this is what it would look like with just a pure quartz floor. Smooth quartz blocks, nothing else to break apart the texture, just straight smooth quartz. Then on the left side here, I wanted to do some kind of design. Right? I know whenever I'm in fancy buildings with nice carpets, they always have some kind of design that's a bunch of lines and it repeats after every so often, and it produces a bunch of patterns at every different intersection point of the main design. And that's kind of what I was going for with this. I was looking at glazed terracotta, and it kind of accomplishes the same thing, where 4 glazed terracotta blocks produce a design, and at every single intersection of the adjacent designs, which is cool. I didn't like the way any of the glazed terracotta fit in with the look I currently have going with the town hall, so I didn't want to pursue that method any farther. But this is the design that I settled on, and I'm pretty happy with it. We have like a 4-block pyramid right here, 4 steps in the pyramid, but it's a lot more than 4 blocks going across. And then inside of each of the intersections, there's a 3-block star, and they're separated by the lines of smooth basalt. So I'm really happy with the design. If there's anything I'll change someday, it's the blocks themselves, right? Maybe I won't stick with smooth basalt forever if I come up with a different dark shaded texture block. You know, in my mind I want to say coal blocks would look good, but I don't have enough coal yet. I know coal blocks have a little bit of texture. I think black concrete wouldn't have enough texture. Maybe obsidian. I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it too much right now, but if I ever do want to replace it, I can just dig up all these basalt blocks and replace them with my new block of choice. But the design itself, I'm happy with. So I think I'm going to replicate this same exact design over here, and then call it a day with the work on the town hall. So there we go. I've replicated this design on the right half of the town hall now as well. My only slight concern right now is the middle 3 rows here. I don't know if I like the way the design now connects with the middle 3 rows. I guess I have 2 options. One, I can replace these middle 3 rows of smooth basalt with something else that still fits the design, some texture, or I can just find a way to just dig up these 3 rows of smooth basalt and try to connect the 2 designs, but I am not too optimistic about that working very well, but I am not going to worry about that today. That is going to be an issue for another day. I am done working on the town hall for today. This place is starting to take shape a little bit more. You can tell what it's going to look like eventually, and it's and at least it no longer has a grass floor. So the next thing on today's agenda is going to be the dock.
3 days later.
Alrighty guys, I'm here at the dock, and look at this. We got 3 creepers chilling in the boat. Count them. 1, 2, 3. So I said, nope, I'm out of there. I'm heading to the village. Alright, now I didn't actually leave the dock because I saw there were 3 creepers. It is 3 days later in the real world now, if you couldn't tell by that time card. I had 3 days later. And over those 3 days, I did edit all the other footage that I recorded, and I saw that I was already over 15 minutes of material, and with my target length of these videos being about 20 minutes, I realized there's not going to be time to work on the dock today. That's going to get pushed to next episode, and I decided, alright, what should I do for the last 5 minutes of this episode? And I decided that I should fight the Wither, since I got all those Wither skulls already. So I'm here at the village getting more emerald blocks so that I'll have enough emeralds to complete the beacon. And look at that, Big Boar joined the game. The second player to join this survival world, this SMP, Big Boar, my guy. Population boom is in full swing now with Robert Moonwalker and Big Boar on the world. So anyway, I kicked this villager out of his bed so I can sleep this night away. Big Boar gets some advancements, sweet dreams, also sleeping the night away. I get back to my trading with some paper this time with the librarian, and Big Boar picks a fight with the wrong cactus. Then I trade one more inventory of sticks here. I get up to about 2 stacks of emeralds, as you can see in my inventory here, and I decide that's probably enough, so I head back to the home base and I check out how many other emeralds I have in storage from whatever was left over from my last trading haul, turn them all into blocks, and I see that I have 24 blocks. And this is one of the rare instances where I did not do any math beforehand. I didn't do the math to determine I needed 2 stacks of emeralds to get myself up to 24 blocks of emeralds, and I never even did the 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 calculation to see that 24 was in fact the exact number of emerald blocks necessary to complete this second full pyramid here. So I just happened to end up with exactly how many emerald blocks I needed, so I do a little F5 to flex on them here. And now that the pyramid is ready, I decide it's time to start preparing for the Wither fight, so I put some golden apples together. I'm gonna bring 5 again, then I grab a strength and a regen potion. Then this time, I'm not gonna forget to bring the skulls and the soul sand, so I go to my valuables chest and grab the Wither skulls, go to my soul sand chest and grab 4 soul sand. Then I start my flight to where I want to fight the Wither battle, just again some plains type biome. Big Boar gets more advancements during my journey here. Fly over a forest fire, and then in the distance I see a nice savanna biome. Go a little farther into it, see some sheep, decide this is a good spot to fight the Wither. There's also a ruined portal here, so I go loot the gold block, loot the chest. Nice golden apple in there, so now I have 6 golden apples to work with this fight. Put the axe on the hotbar because who has time to loot the chest manually? And then I head back to where I want to fight the Wither, which is just a couple blocks over. Didn't really need to use a rocket, completely butchered the landing. I don't know how I did that, but I almost died, so I kind of just stood there in awe of what I just did for a few moments. So then I start putting the soul sand down, plop the Wither skellies on top, and summon the Wither. This time I decide that I'm going to run farther away and wait a little bit to give it some time to attack all the mobs nearby because I want some more Wither roses from this fight, so I let him fight the sheep for a while. While he's fighting sheep, Big Boar falls from a high place. Then I think about engaging the Wither here, but I decide, nah, I want more Wither roses, and I go and start collecting some of the Wither roses. Then I do finally engage, and even with a bunch of my arrows just bouncing right off of them, this is a very easy fight for a gamer of my caliber. And you guys already saw me fight a Wither 2 episodes ago, so no need to queue up the intense music, no need to watch this one in full speed, so I put on the 4x speed for this fight. Melee mode takes a little bit longer than normal because I did forget to drink my strength potion, but still a couple seconds later, down goes Frazier. So I go and pick up my Nether star, and I do another celebratory F5 since I knew I was going to be doing a voiceover of this at this point. Then I fly home. I need my coordinates because I did get spun around during that battle. And then I fly through a nice little jungle terrain here, and then I start approaching the base, and I see the newly improved town hall, and this is the pizzazz I was telling you guys about at the beginning of the episode. When I return home from a journey, I want to be able to see something cool, something new. Now we have that new town hall there, we have the happy house over there, we even have the iron farm. Iron farm isn't quite as good looking, but I end up on top of the happy house here to do my outro, and I decide I gotta put my chest plate on, and I gotta put the nether star in my hand, and then I realize since the nether star is in my hand, I didn't make the beacon yet, so I'm like, oh snap, I need to go make my beacon. So I head back to the warehouse, craft up the beacon, take the beacon over to the newly improved pyramid. So we have 2 full beacons now. Admire the beam for a few moments. And then for my second beacon, I actually go for jump boost. So my first 2 effects are speed 2 and jump boost 2. Probably not the 2 effects that most people pick as their first 2 effects, but I'm all about that mobility and agility around the base, so that's what I go for. Next, I head over to the Statue of Wizardry to select this week's Wizard of the Week. And for the 19th Wizard of the Week, we have Zen Just That, who on the last episode commented in a series of comments, "Nice. You're too underrated. You're supposed to have like 1,000,000 subs. You're too good." Zen Just That, thank you so much. I'm still a very small YouTuber, so I always appreciate compliments and people calling me underrated. Right now, I'm exactly 0.01% of the way to 1,000,000 subs. I certainly wouldn't complain if I get there eventually, but for now, I'm more than stoked that I got to 100 subs. And as I mentioned last episode, I'm working on my 100 subscriber special right now. Be on the lookout for that. It'll come out in the next couple of weeks. Alright, now I can actually get to my outro here. So, thank you guys for watching this episode, and thank you again for 100 subs. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Next episode, I promise we'll actually start working on the dock again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. See ya.